What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Harrison, and today we are doing our weekly recap of the latest The Last of Us episode 7. For the people that have played the game, this is the Left Behind DLC. I was questioning throughout the series if we were gonna. I don't know what the episodes names are in advance. Um, so I wasn't sure if they were going to touch the Left Behind DLC, but obviously they did, and they incorporated it in a very interesting way. Obviously, with the game, it was DLC, so it came out, after the fact. We got the backstory of Riley and Ellie and how they the kind of their relationship blossomed and got a better backstory of how they were friends, and all that good stuff. So I thought it was a very very good episode. I just talked about this episode on my podcast that I do with my brother, Gaming the Broscast. Go listen to that for a dual perspective of the show, and all that good stuff. We kind of do a weekly recap as well on there, so go check it out if you guys never listened to it before. Um, but yeah, it was a very good episode. Not my favorite in term, and there's, but again, we kind of made the comparison. It's like you have a game that reviews a 9 and another game that reviews like an 8.5. They're both very, very good. Obviously, the 9 is slightly better, and most of the episodes for the show have been fantastic. And when you go to rank them, I think this is like kind of mid tier for me. It's not necessarily my least favorite episode, but it's kind of probably on the back half of my favorites so far. But I really enjoyed how they started out with Joel is on his deathbed. He's telling Ellie he's not going to make it. She should just leave him and get back to Jackson, get back to um, Tommy, and just live her life basically. And she goes up the stairs. You see Joel crying, tears coming on his face. She goes upstairs and goes to open up the basement door, and then we get the big flashback with Ellie and Fedra training and all that good stuff, and we kind of got to see how she was before she met Joel. And spoilers, she was exactly the same, right? She didn't quite fit in the Fedra camp. She's very very outspoken. She's very opinionated, which is awesome. And up until this point, we don't really have much on Ellie's backstory. We just, for some people, they might find her as just an annoying kid that obviously is detrimental to the future and a potential cure and all that good stuff. But we don't know anything about her prior, and this was I think a really great piece of storytelling where she really likes this individual Riley, uh, and once Riley comes back after she's been gone for a couple weeks, presumed dead by Ellie, we go into the mall, which, by the way, they have bigger balls than I ever have, because there's no way in heck that I'm going to an abandoned mall in the post-apocalyptic that's completely abandoned, nobody's around, you have no idea what's in there for the most part. But I mean, once they got to the mall and we got that really cool set piece, whoever's in charge of like production of like the design and building these environments is just amazing. Like, it was such a cool looking mall. It looked exactly like it did back in 2003, when the show, when the before the infection started. It looked exactly like that. They had all the old stores. They had the old arcades and stuff. Like, it was such a beautifully shot set piece. With all the different colors of like the arcade and the carousel and all that stuff. It was just so awesome. And the shot where they're playing Mortal Kombat 2 and they're having a blast. They're screaming, they're yelling, they're laughing, all that fun stuff. And the camera slowly pans out of that store and goes until a couple stores down, and you see the infected, attached to the wall, like it's essentially done, right? And it starts to hear, and obviously it comes to life. And we all know that played the game. Um, we all know what's going to happen. They've stuck to the story of the game pretty close. Aside from making a few adjustments, but the overall storyline has been just about the same. So we knew it was happening. She already made Ellie already made mention that you know Riley had been killed and all that stuff. So we knew it was going to happen. The sense of dread was there the entire time. But for a moment when they're having a good time, you can that kind of lifts up, and then obviously it comes back once it pans out. But that whole transition into the infected was incredible. And then once the infected comes and bites both of them, and Ellie is Bella Ramsey, man, is Ellie at this point. She already was in my eyes, but this scene, this episode just personified it. She's amazing. She deserves an award. She deserves an Emmy for her performance, because when she freaks out and she's not afraid of death per se, but she is just so angry in that moment because she finally got her first shot at love with Riley, got her first kiss, we're presuming, and everything is going her way, right? And then it all just gets ripped out of her hands. And while she's freaking out, Riley is pretty calm, right? She's calm and collected for the most part, as calm as you can be in that situation. And she's breaking down the options that they have, that they can either take themselves out or ride it out till the end and see what happens. And that's what they end up doing. And that's a metaphor of how, in that moment where Ellie is grabbing the basement door handle and is getting ready to leave, and there's no thought in my mind that she would even consider leaving, but again, I think it's a good metaphor for Riley was her rock. She was going to ride it out until they transformed, into the affected, and that's what Ellie is doing for Joel. She is going to ride with him until the very end. She's not going to abandon him. If she can save him in any way, she is going to do it. And I thought that was such a really, really awesome way of ending the episode, with her finding the needle and thread. It was like in a kitchen drawer with silverware. My wife had pointed out when we were watching. She was like, "That's such a random place for that to be," but you know how kitchens are. Some drawers are like the catch-all drawer where there's random assortment of items. And yeah, she starts stitching them up, and we'll see what happens. So again, I thought the episode was great. The show just continues to be a gut puncher, to pull the heartstrings and all that good stuff, but it's fantastic, and I can't wait for episode 8 and 9. I think they're going to be pretty awesome episodes. So if you guys are this far into the video, please give it a like. Comment anything below about the show if you want to have a discussion about it, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Consider subscribing to the channel. I'll let YouTube algorithm pick one of my videos below for you guys to watch. Give it a click, and I hope you enjoy, and I will see you in the next video.